Could you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Uzoma Asagwara. I'm an MLA. I represent the constituency of Union Station, which is in the core of downtown Winnipeg. I'm also a registered psychiatric nurse. And my pronouns are they, them.
Why did you want to involve yourself in government?
Sorry, in government? Because I wanted the fame and the fortune. No, I'm joking. No. I've been a community organizer and an activist for many years, and I grew up with a strong awareness of the importance of being involved politically. Not necessarily, being an elected official or working on campaigns, but just having a good understanding of what's going on in politics, knowing how important it is to vote, knowing how important it is to be aware of who represents you and how they represent you. And, so as I got older and I got more involved in community work, and activist work and supporting folks in community who maybe are underserved or underrepresented in government, I got to a point where, I wondered, alongside my family and folks in community, whether or not there were other ways that we could try and affect some positive change. And it was through doing a lot of the work, whether it's organizing for Two-Spirit and LGBTQ community members or advocating for folks around their mental health and access to services, issues around BIPOC communities, advocating for Black community members, all of these things, right? It was in doing all of that work and in my career as a psychiatric nurse and addiction specialist that opportunities started to kind of present themselves. You start to meet people and build relationships with people who kind of open you up to different ways that you can be effective and try to help communities. And politics seemed like an opportunity to, like I mentioned earlier, continue to do the work, but maybe in a new way and affect some of the policies that are being made that really, really impact the communities that I care about and I'm a part of.
Was it difficult for you to obtain the job you have today?
Yes. The job I have today it's a job I feel a tremendous amount of gratitude to have. It's it's a privileged role to be an elected representative. It's something that anybody who holds any form of public office I would hope would be someone who cares about the people they represent and understands the impact that we can have in people's lives. And it takes a lot of work to get to a place where you can run. It's really important to have strong relationships. It's really important to be connected to the communities that you want to, represent in government. And, politics can seem, and we're so enamored by American politics, it seems like this big to do all of it. It's a little different, obviously. It's a lot different in ways here, certainly at the provincial level. But there's steps that you have to take to get to the point where maybe enough people check your name on a ballot and you're successful. And so it's a long process. For me, it took a long time. It was knowing that you want to make the decision, right? That's the first step, is really knowing in your heart and in your mind that that's a step you want to take. And whether it's having conversations with your family, members of your community, having honest conversations with yourself about what it means to be a public servant in that way, it's really important. And then doing the work of actually establishing how you're going to run a campaign and who's going to help you run your campaign and who's going to be on your team. And I have a background in team sports, so for me it was really, really important to have a strong team and a team that actually looks like the communities that I want to be able to represent. And it takes a lot of work to share information, to make sure people know what's going on, to recognize that not everybody can get involved in the political process the same way, but everybody has the right to be involved in whatever way they have the capacity to. And the way folks are able to do that is if you give them the information they need to make informed decisions. And so often when we look at the political process, and we look at elections, right, there are a lot of communities that just aren't as engaged. It's not because they don't care, it's because no one's really making the same level of effort to get them the information and resources they need to be informed, to know what their rights are in terms of folks who reside here. And we wanted to make sure that we covered as many bases as possible to make sure that the communities in Union Station were aware of what was going on start to finish. And that was a really long process as a result, but it was really worthwhile.